Okay, hi you guys. Welcome. Small group so far tonight, but we'll just go ahead and get started. I know you guys, everyone here knows me. Um, Chloe Balatori, relationship and communication expert, graduate of Princeton University and Pat Allen's Want Institute. Author of 3 books available on Amazon, and actually finishing up my 4th book now, which is called Daddy Issues, Mommy Issues. And it's for mostly for women, but I think both men and women will be able to get a lot out of it. So I'm really excited about that and bringing that book out. Um, that book will probably be coming out this year. So if I don't have, I know I do for Raul and Lee, but if I don't have, Kiara, your email and you want me to put you on my email list so you can just be apprised of what I'm doing, you can put that into the chat and I'll try to capture that. Um, okay. So as you know, um, I help men, I help women, I help teenagers, I help couples. Um, oh, great. Okay. With relationships, that is my speciality. Um, Dating, but also really with all kinds of communication. I help people with work problems. I help people with family of origin problems because, as we know, a lot of the problems that we see in relationships originate in our childhood trauma. And so that's often with our family of origin. Um, so I help people excavate the things that have happened in their past, because these things that happen when we are between the ages of 0 to 12 are the most powerful on us. And these are the things that create our life scripts. What are life scripts? Life scripts are a series of survival conclusions. They are coping strategies that we believe as children are existential truths, but they are really strategies of the moment so that we can stay attached to the people who own the refrigerator, so that we can survive, because little human children aren't very independent, right? We're not like other species. So we do need to sacrifice our authenticity often to stay attached to the people who own the refrigerator. And then we grow up and we find that these patterns or these scripts no longer work, or only what they do work to do is to recreate our childhood circumstances over and over again until we find somebody like me who can help you bring a lot of awareness to your issues, your patterns, the things that you're seeing over and over again that are holding you back. And so so much of the time, we believe our scripts to such a degree that we can't imagine another reality. And this is where we really need to bring more awareness to being open to new ways of being and thinking, because we are so sure we are right about things that we aren't right about oftentimes. um Specifically these negative scripts, specifically these negative circumstances. And that's one of the pernicious things about scripts, is that sometimes we think something is happening that's not really happening. And that can be dangerous for us and for those around us. Um, for example, if you're scripted that every time someone is laughing in your presence, they're laughing at you, then that's going to make it really hard for you to experience laughter and joy around you, right? And I recently, that example didn't just come out of thin air. I recently had a client whose father constantly teased and laughed at her when she was a child at the dinner tables, to the point that when she came to see me, she was complaining that her boyfriend was laughing at her when they were having sex. And when we actually met with her boyfriend, he was baffled by this, because he was laughing because he was happy, because he was enjoying himself. It was an expression of joy. And and my client, well, they're both my clients now, but my client, the woman, she really thought that he was laughing at her. And so we have to be very wary of fitting stories, circumstances, things that we don't like happening into these scripts, because then we are in effect not open to new ways of being. So that's, as you guys know, mostly that's the title um of my second book, New Ways of Being, The Pain of Change. And that's what happens, as you guys who are here probably already know. That's what happens when we start making changes, right? It's painful and it's hard. And so oftentimes we want to stop making changes, um, because there's no, even though we're making changes and this will help us get what we want, I think a lot of times there's an expectation that that's going to lead us to a pain-free existence here on planet Earth, and it's not. We shouldn't expect ever to be living a pain-free existence while we're here on Earth. So there will always be pain in life, but the success is in knowing you can handle the pain. I recently had a client who was very nervous to ask somebody out, a guy. Um, but he did so, and she rejected him, and then he asked somebody else out and she rejected him, and he was worried about his ability to bounce back. He did it a third time, and he did actually, she said yes, but then she later said no. And he really surprised me, because he really bounced back from that right away, and he has just been kind of continuing on and carrying on as a confident person. And so that's the beauty of this work, is that we take actions even if we are scared, even if we know there's going to be pain, because that's what builds the confidence. Okay. um Now, a lot of what we look for in relationships is balance. The most successful relationships are the relationships that are balanced between feminine and masculine energy. I've already talked a little bit about how childhood trauma can throw us out of balance. And specifically, what happens is that children who've experienced trauma become what's known as precociously related, meaning they might be forced into their feminine side when they're authentically masculine, or forced into their masculine side when they're authentically feminine. And the archetypes I love to use to illustrate that are Peter Pan and Wendy. Peter Pan being, the boy who could never grow up, right? So never take responsibility, never becoming a man. And the girl who was already a mother as a child. So it's the opposite. This is precociously related. This is what's known as ego dystonia, taking on a lot of responsibility at a young age, but still not able to turn that into a relationship. Okay. So these are kind of, Peter Pan and Wendy are kind of doomed archetypes of ego dystonia, doomed in the sense of not finding a partner. Okay. Most people want to find partners. And so that's what we're dealing with when we're dealing with imbalances in relationships and within ourselves. Okay. So the most successful relationships, as I said, are those that are balanced between feminine and masculine energy. And that includes the relationship you have with yourself. Now, what are feminine, masculine energy? Balance sounds great, but how do we achieve it? Okay, so basic understanding of feminine and masculine energy, also known as yin yang. also known as right hemisphere and the left hemisphere of the brain, right? We all know that we have a right hemisphere that is artistic and creative and receptive, passive, patient, vulnerable. This is the seat of feelings, of spirituality, of sensuality, of sexuality. This is feminine energy, okay? Feminine energy is in the world to make it fun, but it's not of the world, it's magic. And then we all have a left side of our brain, which is the world of ideas, linear, logical thinking. This is the side that most of us are in when we're at work. It's doing, achieving, accomplishing, giving, taking care of, nurturing, competitive, conquering, controlling, right? This is the masculine side, the left brain, the yang side. And all of us have both, but oftentimes, and if you're an alpha, you have a very strong feminine side and a very strong masculine side. To ensure that your relationship is balanced, we use these principles of conscious communication when we are finding ourselves in an awkward situation or navigating a conflict. And so the tools that I teach, the communication tools that I teach, literally the quantum mechanics of language, will help bring the situation back into balance. Okay. And sometimes it's kind of hard to understand in an abstract sense. But as we go and as you guys ask your questions, you'll start to get a feel for it. My first book, How to Live, that's the best like guide for this work. If you just need like a reference. And then you guys know that I also teach this work several times a year, so I put the links in there for my module packages, my website. You can find collateral, and of course, Instagram. And that's how you can work with me, reach out to me. If you have a quick question, I'll do my best to answer it. Okay, what do the modules consist of? So the modules are basically, I teach the books. So the first module, How to Live, Find Love, and Keep It, that's the basics of this work. And in that one, we go over, the principles of conscious communication. So, obviously I just described feminine, masculine, but we look, it's one-on-one. No, it's a small group and it's confidential. We do have the cameras on. It meets for an hour and a half. No, they're not single sex, but I'm thinking about doing an all women group coming up in the new year. And so if that's something you're interested in, let me know. Especially when I move into teaching my daddy issues book. I'm thinking that one will probably be all women. But I like people to start with the module 1. And it's confidential. Everybody agrees to keep it confidential. I record the meetings. It's usually 4 to 6 people. I do an introduction, and then everybody gets a chance to work with me one-on-one. So we talk about the theories, and then we apply them to our lives, basically. That's what's happening in there. Yes. When I do the next modules, I will be sending out an email for that. And actually, Lee and Raul have both taken them. If you guys want to, such a small group, if you guys want to, I'm going to let you guys unmute yourselves. If you guys want to tell Kiara about what those modules are like. Perfect. Thanks. Okay. Or we can just start in with your guys' questions, because I've really pretty much done with my spiel. Yes, Lee. How's it going?
Hey there.
Hey.
I'm good. I might cough. I might sound a little sick. I think fall allergies that turn into
Oh, the weather. It's been murderous.
This happens to me every year in October, November. I get a cold or some kind of it's an allergy that becomes a cold. And I'm fighting like the devil to find a cure for this so I don't get a cold. And I've tried everything. So I'm so far it's just going to be a matter of writing this out. But
Okay.
will there be a module 2 for this?
Yes, yes. So right now, on the schedule, which I haven't put the dates out, but right now I'm doing the module 1, which is the first book, How to Live, Find, Love, and Keep It, right? The basics of this work, you just finished that. So that was the basics of this work, the feminine, masculine, understanding feminine, masculine, understanding the stroke and stand, understanding the basic concept of ego states, right? Transactional analysis, androgynous semantic realignment. Then the second one is the second book. So that's New Ways of Being, the Pain of Change. And so that's my second book. So we talk more in that one about identifying different kinds of pain. What's the pain of change? What's the pain that change needs to take place? And we work a little bit deeper as you are navigating your journey through that. And actually that module, we get through like half of my second book in that module, and then the second half of that book I teach in module 3. So that's how those modules are set up right now.
Okay, well, great. Yeah, they're good. I enjoyed the module 1. It was very helpful. The book was
Right.
helpful. You
It's
know,
a lot.
it was helpful, Chloe, to hear, you have been through so much. I think your mother and your egg donor and my egg donor should get together and go bowling. Been through a lot. I mean, that's something I don't think I've had a chance to express to you. I really, I admire the fact you were able to figure things out, and in spite of your own challenges. But I,
Thank
uh,
you, Lee.
I, uh, I did want to update you real quick on something.
Yes, tell me.
So it's Halloween week. We had Halloween,
Yes. Oh,
and
and that's a good day for you usually.
it's a
That's
big.
remember I remember last year with the Captain Kirk costume.
In fact, I had to honor that again. So
Oh,
that,
you pulled it
that
out again this year.
I did.
Excellent.
Only it's upgraded. It's much better. I made some improvements. Um, let's
I know
just
you're feeling your mojo in your Captain Kirk costume.
and you know what? It was. I mean, um, yeah. I last year it changed my life. I mean, I have not put on a Halloween costume in God knows how long, but it really did. And so I went back to the same group, the same meetup in Orange County that does this Halloween
Mhm.
party. There were 350 people there. That's how huge this.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, it was huge, but it was wonderful. And so, what I wanted to update you is I met 4 different ladies at this party.
Mhm.
One of them went as Marilyn Monroe, and,
Cute.
and we're going to meet tomorrow for
I
her.
love it. You're like the guy I
Right.
was talking about before. You're on like a huge roll.
It's great. It's nice to be meeting people and doing this right.
Yeah.
I'm not one of these predators who's out to get laid or something,
And I will say
Just
like that,
nice to meet people.
yeah. And you've gotten a lot out of this general meetup, but I did notice a big jump in your success, like just personally, after you did the module, because we really are able to go like deeper. People are just really getting the tip of the iceberg in this group.
Yeah.
But anyways, go on. Okay,
It's
so you
great.
have.
It's great. It's a great application, great practice, great theory. I had a great time at the Halloween party. A
Okay.
friend of mine texted me at another party where I go, a karaoke place here in the South Bay,
Oh, right.
and said, come, what you doing? You should come join us. We're having a good time. And so sure enough, there was nice little crowd till 2 in the morning. We were singing karaoke. And there's another gal there. I'm trying to put, I do have a question about a new person,
Okay.
but
Hit me.
before I share that, I just wanted to
Okay.
kind of share a discovery about I've observed this. I think last week I told you about the check about the not checklist, but 25, 30 qualities in a person. And then if you can get 60 to 70% of those qualities, you're doing great, right?
Yes.
So while I was creating that and reevaluating that perspective, I discovered something about this whole process, and I came up with a label. I came up with a name for this new discovery, this thing. When you first meet someone for the very first time in real life, not on a dating app, but in
Mhm.
real life, when you've met someone for the very first time, there is, with every single person, there is a phenomenon that I call the vortex of the moment. I don't know why I chose to call it that, but that's feels fitting because what it is it's a phenomenon when you meet someone for the first time and there is a spiral of chemistry between you, more or less. And sometimes only you feel it and the other person feels nothing. Sometimes they feel it and you don't.
Mhm.
Sometimes you both do. But there were 4 people I met at the Halloween party. And the first one, wow, I would say out of 1 to 3, I would give it a 3. She was lots of chemistry there. But there was another lady who wouldn't go away. And I was not feeling the vortex of the moment at all. She was spinning all over the place and she kept coming back. Then there were 2 other ladies. One was kind of in the middle, like, and they were both kind of in the where they did not, I couldn't, they were hard to read. But I got all of their phone numbers. I was able to be the man and
Nice.
I got their numbers and let's correspond, let's talk, let's see how this goes. And
Good.
the Marilyn Monroe character was by far the most responsive and flirtatious um and so she responds to my costume in a playful way, and it's just little things like that gave her some points. There was another gal super that was in there, this one of those other ladies there that was super attractive and but has not responded to the text, or so
Mhm.
so that's telling right there. But there was a 5th woman at this last uh group, and um I've met her before. She's a bartender at another place, and I've seen her sing at this karaoke place, and I sing karaoke at the place where she works sometimes. Well, I have to be careful when women have had a little too much to drink, because this one, she had been drinking, but she had her arms all over me and was telling me how wonderful I am, and I mean, it was a lot of banter and flirtation, and it feels great, but at the same time I want to keep reality in check. And with her, I mean, I don't know her well enough to get to check off all these qualities, but you know I don't know, it's like
Is that a question?
yeah, like, I mean, well, I guess yeah, I guess I'm just trying to figure out, like, are there red flags here? Are there I mean, she's
I think it's okay to, explore it and get to know, enjoy yourself. Get to
right,
know her
right.
better. Sometimes people are really nervous on first dates and so they get drunk or they act crazy. That's why it's always good to have like the 3 dates, right? For the duty dating. It's 3 dates. You give someone 3 chances.
Right. Well, yes, and of course, this young lady, I have not gone out with her on a date yet. I've just met her in the social circles where we sing and stuff.
Hmm.
By the way, she's a great singer. She's very attractive. She's like 6 feet tall. She's
Hmm.
she's a tall woman, and so I was like, as she was flirting with me and sort of dancing, singing alongside me, I was like, wow. I mean, I hope I can I hope I can catch her if she falls down. Um,
Yeah, well,
but because height, I mean, that's something I've processed is,
yeah, height seems to be very
physical.
important to people. Mostly women really like taller men. But if she's taller than you or if she's your height and she's interested, that's good.
Exactly.
And
She's a
tall
little
women
tall.
have some of that same problem. Sometimes tall women are hesitant, you're right, to date shorter men. But sometimes you can get a great deal on a shorter guy because he's not tall. You
Well,
know what
here's the question about this young lady. So the red flag for me is not just that. I mean, we all enjoy a drink every now and then, and act a little silly. That's not a problem. But it's hard to tell if if I was her focus, or because I see her doing it with a lot of other people, a lot of other.
Oh, yeah.
She was dancing and kind of hugging and had her arm around lots of other guys who I don't know, and so she was kind of. And so when I see that behavior, um,
Yeah, it raises questions, but I still think it's worth exploring.
right, okay, well,
But maybe not the first one. Go for the first one that you like the
here's
most. But
right.
you could line up 3 dates at least, right?
Well, I hope who's going to pay for all these.
Come on.
Another thing, I'm like, this is an expensive proposition. But
But
that's a
some dates aren't, you can go
right.
for coffee, you can go for a hike, you don't always have to go for an expensive dinner.
Well, that's right. That's what I'm trying to be
Okay.
realistic about that. And but the main thing is just, it's a blessing to have all these options, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it can be overwhelming. And to manage even three is a
Right.
lot, just to be able to keep that.
Well, you're expanding your capacity. No, you really are. You're doing good.
Thanks a lot. And anyway, vortex of the moment is
I
something,
like that. It's kind of like
uh,
magic of the moment.
or some people would just say call it chemistry,
Hmm.
but chemistry makes me think of a physics of a lab with beakers, and I don't think of chemistry as a.
Hmm.
But when I think of it in a spiritual way, like a vortex of the moment, it helps me gauge my desire to connect with her again in the future after that first meeting in person, and it motivates me to add her to a list of possible, like
Right.
someone I'd like
Good.
to get to know more. So that's all I'm
Good.
sharing. Thanks for the quick share.
You're
Uh, and I
welcome.
hope y'all are well. Thanks very much.
Good work. Excellent work. Okay, Raul, what's happening?
No, I just wanted to participate since it's a small group.
Yeah,
Uh,
participate away.
so I'll start out with an update. So Anna and
Yes.
I we bounced back pretty decently.
So, oh, I'm
Um,
so happy to hear it. So things are going okay now.
yes, yes. So
Okay.
um, our first date was on October 21st last year. So it's ironic, like just like a couple weeks before coming up on that date, we had this little falling out, a split
Yes.
up. We actually experienced a split up, her and
Right.
I. But it only lasted like 3 days, and then we got together. And I think for right now, she just told me that she's just gonna put it out of her mind for right now,
Okay.
situation. So that's my update.
Good. I'm so glad to hear it. I think,
Yeah,
I know she was upset. I know there was that issue and she was upset, but I think some of that will be desensitized. You know what I'm saying?
well, I mean, it's interesting. She has talked to me more about what she thinks she can handle and
Good.
what
I'm so
she
glad.
can't handle. So I think the next time that issue comes up, it'll be much better.
Right.
Hopefully.
Because you guys have been able to negotiate. And that's really the best that you can hope for. Because you're not going to ever be in a relationship that's conflict free. But can you negotiate? Can you speak to each other in a loving manner and with using the supportive languaging that I teach? You know, and that's so, conflicts are going to arise. But I mean, that's, kudos. I'm really proud of you guys.
Yeah, I think that um that's no, I lost my train of thought. Literally.
What?
I lost my what
Oh,
I was trying to say.
okay. Okay, well, good.
I'm at that age now. But anyway, as far as sharing about your modules,
Yes.
I really like that you get to actually have interaction with the book. Like you could always get the book and read it, but I like the fact that you actually go through the exercises, make us actually participate in it. And it's cool to be doing that with the author of the book,
Yeah. And there's homework.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Good. Excellent. We had a really good group this last time for what that was module 2, I guess. But
yeah, yeah.
it's good.
Well, both my modules were pretty
Yeah.
good.
I'm like
Yeah.
spacing on who was in the first group. But yeah, I mean they're always really good. It's just
Our next station stop is Paramount.
So
different
like
levels of yes.
three of us that did the first module also did the second module.
Right, that's
And
right. Oh
then-
yeah, we
and
did
then-
have a first good group. That's right. Now I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the mission was replaced by somebody else that
Right. And she was
was
really
repeating
good.
the module.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had one person who did the module 2 second time because she missed the module 3 offering and just wanted to be back in a group. And I thought she got a lot out of it. She was glad to do that. So that went well. I had
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
okay, good.
And
Okay.
then I have a question though.
Yes.
Like I follow your Instagram every day, and I noticed that every day you have another nugget to. And I'm wondering, how do you come up with your ideas on a daily basis? Where's your inspiration come from?
Good question. Going into my thought process. Well, I'm doing this work all the time myself, so I see things coming up. It may be from a client situation, or if I see a pattern in several clients going through the same thing, I might be stimulated sometimes by something I see on reality TV. Occasionally it'll be from, I'm on this list where journalists reach out to me when they need quotes. So sometimes if it's a topic that piques my interest, it could be from that. It could be from something I'm going through. I also keep like kind of a master document of ideas. Just, and I've even gone back through my old notes of when I was at one institute sometimes and kind of compiled. So it always seems like there's something that is kind of on the tip of my tongue and that I want to express. So yeah, that's it. That's the magic there. That's the magic behind the curtain.
That's awesome. No, so let's see. I circling back to my first thing.
Yeah.
Basically just making it through the first year together.
Which
I
is
think things-
great. Yeah.
I think things are becoming more of a routine now,
Mhm.
and which is has its pros and cons. You don't want to fall into just a rut and just
Right.
But I've been like on Instagram, I see a lot of inspiration as far as keeping things fresh and new and all that. So
Yeah, that's
I
so
always
important.
I always tell Anna, I said we're not in any rush.
Right. I mean, it's like people really fight hard to get into relationships and be in relationships and meet people, and that takes so much effort. And then once they're in a relationship, a lot of time that effort drops off. And like you said, there's a positive side to that. It's nice, it's comfortable, you feel safe. But still, there's still a need to keep things new and to do things together that are exciting and continue to nurture that connection and put something, that some of the energy that you were putting in the beginning to continue that. So
Yeah,
I'm glad to
correct.
hear that
Yeah.
you're recognizing that. People want to
Yes.
get married, they don't want to stay married. That happens a lot, or even just get in a relationship.
Yes. Well, that's my updates.
Okay, great. Excellent. Very good. Kiara, you can unmute yourself.
Oh, okay.
I did
I was
that
late.
tonight.
Okay, cool. I was waiting for the little thing, the message to
Right.
pop up.
I just did that because we're in a small group.
Awesome. Thank you. So, yeah. So first, I just want to say I took like some time over the weekend, kind of like I was listening to like your past meetups and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I really I really got inspired like just by a lot of the advice that you were saying. And one of like the main like things that I like that you say is to do stuff for you regardless of the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of took it upon myself just to like not even, with relationships, like, because as like you always say, it's a lot more than just finding love. It's about
Yes.
building yourself as well, your confidence. So yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanted to say thank you for like sharing that knowledge of just like doing stuff for yourself. And I'm kind of being more aware of where I want my masculine energy to go, and realizing that I don't have to give that up, but I can still have some things where I'm masculine, going after like things that I want to do, or starting things, taking initiative, and that's fine, but it doesn't mean that I still can't be seeking like a masculine man and want to be in my feminine energy. So I'm kind of like playing around with where I want my masculine energy to go versus
Mm-hmm.
where I want, my feminine energy to go. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. That was the first thing.
Very
Um,
good.
Thank you. And then also, I had a question. So, like, been pretty open. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing to admit, but I've been pretty open with a lot of people. So I've never been like in a long-term relationship before, and I'm about to turn 29 in January.
I've
So
worked
like,
with people in their 40s and 50s who've never been in long-term relationships.
oh, I would say that's comforting. Kind of scary too. Like, that's
So
why I
yeah,
gotta tackle
I'm
this
just
now.
saying, have you for some perspective. You know,
Uh,
don't
for
shame
sure.
yourself for that at all.
Thank you. I think I've kind of worked through the whole like feeling ashamed about it, but it is
Good.
still kind of I think people are just more like shocked. But what one of the things that I've come across because of that, like I missed out on a lot of learning experience because of that. The one
Mm-hmm.
thing I missed out is like I don't know how to be in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of mistakes that I just made while like dating people, because I honestly, and I've mentioned this to you before a long time ago when I first came to Europe, is like, I guess you said when you come at people with your thoughts and feelings, it's an act of narcissism.
Yeah,
And I
if
didn't,
you go the same time, yes.
right. And I was doing that, and I realized how detrimental that was to like just trying to get to know someone. So I learned from doing that. But one of the reasons I was interested in your modules was because I'm realizing that even when you do like get into a relationship, from what I hear, it seems like there's still work. It's not just like, oh, okay,
Yes.
you get into a
Yes.
relationship.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm like, okay, well, if my goal is to get into a relationship, I kind of feel like why not prepare, and put that energy out so I can just educate myself more on just what it means and what is it to have a successful relationship. So
Mhm.
basically my question is along those lines. What would you suggest? Would it be the modules? What do you suggest for kind of preparing myself for hopefully when that
Yeah,
time does
I think
come?
that's a good idea. Start with the module one, and we go through you'll get like a lot deeper understanding of some of these dynamics, so that when you do find someone you like and you do get into a relationship, well, first of all, you'll understand more about perhaps why you haven't been in a relationship before,
Right.
and then how to get into a relationship, and then we will definitely explore like some pitfalls and some trouble spots once you are in the relationship, because especially in the first year in a relationship, you go through different periods. So the first 3 months is the perfect period. That's when both
Right.
of you guys do no harm, right? you
Mm-hmm.
you guys are couple on the cover of Oprah's magazine, you know. You know, neither of you guys shit gold brick, you know, there's
Mhm.
no flaws.
Mhm.
Okay, then you move into the second 3 months, and that's the imperfect period. That's when you start to see a few cracks. Okay, well, maybe he does fart, or maybe she chews with her mouth open, or whatever it is. Okay, so that's the next 3 months. Now, I've worked with a number of, well, not a huge number, but I have worked with few clients who were addicted to just that dopamine rush of the first 3 months. And so,
Mm,
um, it's funny, you may even have met somebody like this, but there are people who will say, "Yeah, I've been in relationships, but they've never lasted longer than 3
right.
months."
Right.
So that's somebody who's never been able to move past the perfect period, okay?
Right. Right.
Um, then we move into with my help, I have been able to move at one, well, two people past that, but it's some people get really addicted to that perfect period. Anyways, then the second period is the imperfect period. That's the next 3 months. Then 6 to 9 months is when you start negotiating the relationship. You really don't know somebody until you've known them for at least 9 months to a year, because a good psychopath can fool you for that amount of time. For, you know, so you can get engaged in that time, but please don't get married until you've known somebody at least a year. So those are the periods you go through in the first year. Then after that, 3 years, there's another shift, because the 3 year mark is when the romantic projection ends. So if you've ever been in love and you've had that infatuation, after 3 years, that's when that part starts to fall away and you actually start to get to know each other. There's another shift at 7 years, there's another shift at 10 years. I mean, basically at 10 years, you reinvent yourself, you do your work, and you hope to God your partner does theirs, because you guys will change and you will either grow together or you will grow apart. Um, and that's not one, you know, there's no value judgment with that, but that's just what happens as time goes forward.
Right.
So that's kind of an overview. But yeah, I think that'd be a good
That's
place
a
to
good
start.
breakdown. I appreciate that. That was a very good breakdown the way you put that. I personally never really got past 3 months, because the 3 month by the third month it's like, I don't like you. So
Right.
there is no fourth month, like no. So yeah, and then it just hasn't happened for me, but I certainly, even from those short periods of times, I've certainly learned different things. And then from
Yeah.
the last situation, I just learned that I did not know how, like, even how to be in a relationship, even if I wanted to be. But yeah, so thank you so much. That was very helpful, and I look forward, maybe as a birthday gift to myself, to starting the modules.
Yeah, it'll be great to have you in there. I mean, it's been great having you in the meetup, and I can tell that you're, you know, really sharp and you're starting to get it. And
Thank you.
yeah, look what Lee wrote. I'm so glad you're a part of this group, Kiaris. Totally.
Thank you, Lee. I appreciate that.
You know, that's, you know, these, obviously I'm here, but these groups are also made up of you guys and what you guys are willing to share and be open with. And so it's a pleasure having you, because you're getting it, you're listening, you're smart. So, you know, I think it'll be good. I think you'll get a lot out of it.
Thanks. And I feel like just investing in myself too is like something that I'm learning is okay. So
Yes, that's such a good lesson to teach yourself as well. You can't go wrong. It's a good investment, really.
absolutely. Thank you.
You are so welcome. Okay. What about this person? iPhone 251. Did you have a question? You can unmute yourself tonight if you do. Okay. No. Okay, well then I guess I'll wrap things up. Um you guys know that we only have a couple more of these meetups for this year, that I'm going to be taking a break to regroup, regenerate, you know, probably finish up my book, make my plans for the new year, and then I will probably be back. Um you know, after that. But you can always reach me. Here, I'll put my stuff in again. Through Instagram, or reach out to me through my website. And yeah, we've got 2 more weeks. So I look forward to seeing you guys and hearing from you, if not before then, next week. I'll talk to you soon.